Here we are, ready to start. I decided to open this live feed a bit in advance because the weather is absolutely not good, and right now maybe we have just a break in the clouds, so I think that we can see the object. So I will switch immediately to the telescope site and then I will tell what is happening. But at least here it is, friends, an image coming live from our telescope, and this little dot of light here is the actual asteroid, which is moving pretty fast across the sky, as you can see from the stars leaving these streaks, this trail, as we are tracking the object while it moves pretty fast across the stars. There are clouds around, so I'm not sure that the next image is coming will show the asteroid again, but we can hope. And this is why I decided to open this live feed a bit in advance. So here it is, we still have the object, here it is, under less than ideal conditions, but we can still see this. Then let me start this with a quick introduction. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Gianluca Masi speaking from the Virtual Telescope Project, and I am in Rome right now, while the telescope is about 100 kilometers south from here in Ceccano, as part of the Virtual Telescope Project, where I have my robotic telescopes. And I decided to schedule this live feed after the huge success of our previous recent live feed covering the potentially hazardous asteroid 1998 HL1. And while we were enjoying that, people at Mount Lemmon survey discovered this new little rock coming incredibly closer. Right now it is approaching its nominal minimum distance, about half of the lunar distance, that is 190,000 kilometers. So this is pretty close. It is between us and the moon. And while this minimum distance will be reached in a few hours, right now this object is inside the lunar orbit, and our telescope is already tracking it, and while we have clouds we can see the object. This very small dot of light here is the object moving pretty fast across the stars, and as the telescope is tracking its fast apparent motion, on the contrary, the stars are leaving these very long trails, and the length of these trails in just a few minutes exposure, we have a couple of minutes exposure, 120 seconds of integration, and in that short time, 2 minutes, look how long the trails left are, and this just telling us how fast this object is moving. I will calculate the exact distance of this object pretty right away. Just let me check if the new image, just uploading now, and with the trails apparently moving. Let me see. Okay, here it is, friends. We have the asteroid again visible here pretty well. And let me say that this is something exceptional, because it is worth to remind you that this object is really small. Just finding a few details for you. And this object is 2019. Here it is, 2019 UB8. Its diameter is between 4.4 meters and 9.7 meters, so this is pretty small. And despite this, we can easily see with the powerful technological eyes of the Virtual Telescope Project. While I'm speaking right now, let me check what is the distance in this very moment of this object, because I want to give you very up-to-date data. Just calculating, it is at 299,000 kilometers from the center of the Earth, and this is pretty close. It is 2/3 more or less of the lunar distance. So we are well inside the lunar orbit. And again, I repeat, this little piece, little cosmic stone is just this very little dot here, which is moving really fast, apparently fast up there. And this is very easy to check, because the faster the apparent motion of the asteroid, the longer the star trails are on the background, and this is telling us how incredible the technological capabilities are of the robotic telescopes part of our project. We can only hope that now the new update is coming. Here it is. The image is downloading from the camera to the computer, and with some luck we can still see the object here. And look how incredible the stars move image after image, because as I told you, the apparent motion of this object is incredibly fast because it is so close, very close to us. But it is worth to remind you that we are really not risking anything. There are no risks at all for our planet while this is surfing so close. And the flyby will be in about 6 hours by now, when the distance will be 0.5 lunar distances, so significantly closer than the distance we have now. But even now we are well inside the lunar orbit. The actual distance is marginally less than 300,000 kilometers. We are seeing this through the Virtual Telescope Project website, and I have to tell that while I'm talking to you, we are just observing, actually using the robotic telescopes. And the telescopes are 100 kilometers south from Rome, where I am right now. So I am in Rome. The telescopes are 100 kilometers south from here, and you are where you are. So I find this amazing. That is, no matter the distances, no matter the borders, we can really ideally join this cosmic journey of discovery and spy this very small asteroid coming very close right now, safely very close right now to our own planet Earth. And this little dot of light here is actually the asteroid 200,019 UB8. This has been discovered just a couple of days ago by astronomers at the Mount Lemmon survey in Arizona, and we immediately scheduled this live coverage to make possible for everyone interested to ideally join this. And while we are observing, we are hoping that the new image downloading now will still show the object, as it will likely. Here it is. I want to remind you the technological partners of the Virtual Telescope. They are Unitron Italian Instruments, Software Bisq, Badr Planetarium, Santa Barbara Instruments Group, and Planewave Instruments. And I also acknowledge the very important technological partner C-Web, making possible for us to host our website on very reliable servers. So we are very grateful to all these people. And while we are running this, again, the object is clearly visible, and I remind you that the Virtual Telescope, making this for you, bringing the wonders of the universe to the comfort of your home, is not asking money to you for this. But if you want, you can support this project just donating whatever you want. The fact that we are offering this for free does not mean that this has no cost. We have a lot of expenses to cover, and we are not asking anyone for this. This is my personal money on this project, because I love sharing what I love. But if you really want to contribute, you are truly welcome. And the people contributing will receive a few things from us, just to say thank you. It's our way to say thank you to people supporting the Virtual Telescope project. That's it. I hope that you are enjoying this, even if we started a bit in advance, just to be sure we could exploit this clear moment up there, while clouds were just everywhere until I decided to open the observatory and start this live feed for you, friends. I hope that you really can enjoy what we are doing. We really try to do the best that we can. And for us, it's amazing that technology makes possible to do exactly this, enjoying the beauty of the cosmos. Here it is again, 219 UB8 asteroid, safely approaching us coming very close to our planet in, as I told you, 6 hours by now, when it will be just sitting in the middle between us and the moon. But right now, while it is still approaching, safely approaching, no risks at all for the Earth, it is already well inside the orbit of the moon. It is a bit less than 300,000 kilometers. The lunar distance is on average 384,000 kilometers. So this is pretty close, friends. And while I'm speaking, as you can see, we are observing, we are enjoying so easily this close encounter, thanks to the very advanced technology of the Virtual Telescope project. I'm really hoping that you are enjoying what we are doing, as we really love to bring this to you live. What is happening here? The telescope is pointing where the asteroid is, but of course the asteroid is orbiting around the Sun, like the Earth by the way, and being the asteroid very close, apparently the object is moving pretty fast across the sky. And in other words, it is not enough to point the asteroid. You really have to ask to the telescope to track, to keep the object center. You have to track it at its own very fast rates. And our telescope is really able to do this, and this is why the asteroid is visible here as a very sharp dot of light, friends, and the stars are leaving these very long streaks. This is really a clear demonstration of the amazing technological capabilities of the telescopes we are very happy to use with benefits for the international community. For us, it's such a pleasure to bring these incredible things to you, and I hope that this is rewarding and a rewarding experience for you. The Virtual Telescope has been around for more than 13 years now, doing exactly this, bringing the beauty of the sky, the real sky, to you through the internet. How beautiful it is, friends, to track these very small asteroids, and for me, at least for me, and I hope you can appreciate this as well. The Virtual Telescope is bringing to you this very close asteroid, 2019 UB8, right now at less than 300,000 kilometers. That is very significantly less the average lunar distance. And of course, I wish to thank all those considering supporting the Virtual Telescope. Again, here it is the object. I can even remove this crosshair, but of course, this is the asteroid. The other little dots you see around are not real. And this is something I like to share to you, just giving you a chance to feel like an astronomer. I mean, image after image, you can see that you have some spurious small clusters of white pixels. They are so-called hot pixels. They are basically thermal noise, typical of the devices we use to take the images, the imaging device we use in astronomy. But of course, the very difference here is that this object is there every image, while the other objects are just there for one image, so they are just random, okay? And just to make sure that you understand that this point, for example, this point are just noise. This is a real object. This is the asteroid we are tracking right now live through the Virtual Telescope project. And for me, this is just amazing. I hope that you will consider supporting the Virtual Telescope by donations. No matter the amount, this will really help a lot, because we don't have any financial source. This is just my personal effort, just because I believe in what I love. I mean, I love the cosmos and I love sharing what I love, and hopefully this will have more people involved with this very beautiful universe. So if you really like what we do, if you believe in our mission, please consider to support this in the way you do. Again, here it is, the asteroid. You can see how those thermal noise has gone while the asteroid is always here. So you are basically understanding what is happening like a real astronomer. I find these images spectacular. I just, you can see, adjusted a bit the visualization. So the asteroid is here, and in just 2 minutes, look how much it moved. How much it moved, friends. And now this is coming closer and closer. I'm just trying to measure. We are about, right now, we are about 270,000 kilometers. It is approaching pretty fast, as you can easily understand when I read to you the distances from time to time. And I find this amazing. So I repeat, the telescope is pointing the asteroid, and it is tracking the asteroid. Otherwise, in a handful of minutes, the asteroid will be lost. But the very problem will be that this very small and faint object would move if I was not tracking it, and so it will be impossible to see it, because its very, very faint light will go mixed with the light of the background, the sky background. While if you track it, how beautiful this image is with the object here again, friends. So while we are tracking it, we are assuring to collect at its best this faint light, okay? And now what is happening as for the imaging detector? We have a very sensitive camera. Instead of our eye, we have a very sensitive camera, and this is very nice because this way I can share with you what this digital eye is seeing. So the camera is there, and I asked the camera to collect the light coming from this very small asteroid for some time, and I decided to use 120 seconds, that is 2 minutes. In other words, we are collecting the faint light coming from this object for 2 minutes, and in those 2 minutes the telescope is tracking this fast moving object. And once the exposure is ascended after 2 minutes, this the signal is just the signal collected by the imaging device is converted, of course, in a digital image, and we can see it. This is what is happening. This is the meaning of this green bar here. This is basically a countdown. There are right now 35 seconds left of the total 120 seconds, and I asked the system to take a number of images back to back, 99 just to have enough images in the queue. And right now we have an image number 19 of 1999 or of 99, sorry. And once the integration has gone, the 2-minute integration has gone, something happening now. You see that the information is downloaded from the camera to the computer, digitally converted, and then the image is displayed. Something happening right now, friends. How beautiful it is. The asteroid is here. How beautifully the telescope is tracking this very demanding target, friends. That is basically the virtual telescope, you know. Thank you to people considering supporting us by donations, because that is the only source we have to keep this honestly amazing project up and running. I cannot tell you how many millions of people have looked at the sky through the technological eyes of the virtual telescope project for free, and that has been possible, I have to admit, mainly because of my effort to keep this up and running, and also to the significant help of generous donors, just sometimes a handful of them, I must admit, but very precious. So if you really like what we are doing, if you are enjoying this experience, please consider supporting this project so that other people worldwide can enjoy, can experience the same adventure. And here it is, the small asteroid 219 UB8, discovered just a couple of days ago, and just approaching its minimum distance from us, just 50% of the average lunar distance. This will happen in less than 6 hours now, but right now this is very close, well inside the lunar orbit. And let me update the distance of this rock. Right now it is 254,000 kilometers from us. Keep in mind that the moon is about 384. At least this is the average lunar distance. So this is well inside. Very spectacular, I must admit. I'm never tired to see, to enjoy, to look at these things. Just to give you a better view, I removed the crosshair, and here it is, the object, of course. How beautiful all this is for us, bringing to you the real sky. The real sky, it's always a great emotion, even after more than 13 years. We've been around for such a long time. I'm still very proud to do this for everyone loving the sky, and also thanks to people considering supporting the virtual telescope by donations. We also had a very spectacular live feed a few days ago, very planetary success, when we shared live the potential hazardous asteroid 1998 HL1, but soon after that I saw that this intriguing object was discovered, and I wanted to share with you. Even if we already covered an asteroid, this was well worth this other effort. And here it is, the image coming live. The new images info is now downloading. Here it is. The asteroid is this. I will remove the crosshairs again, just to give you a better opportunity. I suspect that the next image, this very bright trail, a star, will actually apparently hit the asteroid. So let's wait and let's see how beautiful all this is. I mean, doing this live thanks to the technology of the Virtual Telescope project. I wish to thank all of you joining from everywhere: Europe, US, Asia, Africa, Australia, South America, Central America. No borders when the sky is involved, and unless we will have other asteroids. The next event we have scheduled is the Mercury transit, something very rare and spectacular, by the way, happening November 11, and our website has already all the details if you want to be sure to sit in the front line and enjoy this upcoming incredible show. In about 20 seconds plus downloading time, we will have an idea if this bright star will actually cross. Here it is, friends. I just adjusted the I'm sorry, perhaps it was better to leave things as they were. Okay, and now let's see if now. Wow, look here. As expected, this bright star trail is basically kissing the asteroid, which is visible here as a sharp dot of light. Here it is, the asteroid and this very bright star trail. And now I want to use even a longer exposure, 3 minutes, just to check what will happen. We will have, of course, much longer star trails. If this is the length of a star trail with 2 minutes, I do expect that the trail will be now long, significantly more like this, for example. From here, just to give you an idea, to more or less here, as we are using a 50% longer exposure compared to the mere 2 minutes. Thank you very much to everyone considering supporting us. Really a lot. Thank you. We are under less than ideal conditions. Let me see if I can share with you here it is, friends. What I'm showing now is the sky just above the observatory, and you can see how far from ideal it is. Here it is, the Orion belt. Of course, this is Betelgeuse and Rigel, and you can see pattern of clouds making the sky not usable. And let me say that just minutes before I decided to open the live feed, the sky was completely cloudy. So we are lucky at least to see what we are seeing. Again, the virtual telescope is doing the magic here. Back to the live images. We are now using 3 minute exposure before I end this live feed. Started about 30 minutes ago to cover this just discovered asteroid approaching us so fast and coming so close in a very few hours, while already very close we are observing it flawlessly thanks to the high-end technology of the Virtual Telescope project. Again, I invite people just following us to consider supporting the Virtual Telescope project by donating whatever you want, because that is the only source we have to survive, to keep the Virtual Telescope project alive. And I wish to thank all those just considering this and those actually doing this. Let's wait for the new image. A much longer trail. We should have how long the trails are now. Look here, as expected, and the asteroid is beautifully recorded here, friends. So let's wait for a few minutes more just to see if we will have a bright trail inside the field of view. We already have a number of them, but a brighter trail just making possible for us to easily understand how fast this object is moving. While right now we are getting closer and closer, and while I speak we are more or less 250,000 kilometers from Earth. (66% the lunar distance, so 2/3 of the lunar distance on average. I'm waiting for the last image, and just to give you an idea, by the way, where you are observing, this is the sky just over the observatory, okay? And here we are in the Eridanus constellation. This is where the asteroid it is right now. Some people ask why we are still using Windows XP, which is very old. Okay, this is true, of course, but the golden rule when technology is involved is this: if what you have is perfectly doing what it has to do, never change the hardware, because you never know, you will have to spend time to fine-tune everything. So until you have some improvements, unless you have some improvements, do not do this. And as we are beautifully doing this, I don't see why you have to change, because changing will require a lot of fine-tuning, and I really don't want to do that. I just prefer to do science. When we will need to update, we will do. Just to answer something that people ask continuously. I'm impressed that people sometimes just pay attention more to the OS used on a given machine instead to see the content. Okay, so the answer is this operating system is just perfect to have the telescope pointing and tracking, so I really I don't see why I should change something that would require a lot of fine-tuning. Meantime, the image arrived. How beautiful these images are, and now we are really having, and perhaps I have what I wanted, a long star trail. Here it is, and the asteroid as well. So friends, I think that we very successfully covered this live feed, so I'm really going to close it right now. But before, I want to thank all of you for joining. And I want to remind you about the technological partners of the Virtual Telescope project. They are Unitron Italia Instruments, Software Bisq, C-Web, Bader Planetarium, Santa Barbara Instruments Group, and Planewave Instruments. And I also want to thank all the people considering donating something to support the activities of the Virtual Telescope project, because it is that help, that support making possible for us to survive. It was such a big pleasure to share with you these very close approaching asteroids, 2019 UB8, coming very close to us, half of the lunar distance, more or less 190,000 kilometers, and right now it is at about 250,000 kilometers. Let me provide you an update distance estimate. Just doing the calculation, and right now it is 248,000 kilometers. Gianluca Masi, Virtual Telescope Project, sends his greetings to everyone from Rome, where I am, from Ceccano, about 100 kilometers south of Rome, where our robotic telescopes are placed. That's all, friends. I remind you to join us for the next event, next November 11, for the Mercury transit, something very rare and spectacular, unless something unexpected will jump up there. So if you really want to stay up to date with our activity, please join us on Facebook, look for the Virtual Telescope Project page, or check our website regularly. This will make sure for you to stay up to date and enjoy every live offered by the Virtual Telescope Project. And again, please consider supporting us by donation, as that is the only source we have to keep this project up and running. Thank you very much, friends. Wish you a very, very, very beautiful day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are on this very beautiful planet. So keep looking up. Gianluca Masi, Virtual Telescope Project.